ReconAthlete.com podcast is brought to you by Lawnman ATX and Kreitz Market. ReconAthlete.com podcast, episode number 39. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez. Shout out to Zach Lucetto, who has to be at work today. Shout out Comptroller. Why y'all making y'all's people work, man?
Yeah, we were pretty blessed for my agency to go ahead and give us that day off. So shout out to our executive commissioner. Appreciate that. All love.
Yeah, I know. And Zach was disappointed. I know, he doesn't like to miss a show. And he was like, man, I really thought I was going to get half a day off on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, usually for state workers, like half days are usually pretty much a given. But who knows, banking systems are at their discretion. So if there's bank hours, they're there. So looks like that's happening today. But shout out Zach. Good luck, bro.
And I understand that, man, because I don't know, a lot of people are upset with me out at Manor because I changed a payroll date in December. But I did it for good reasons.
But you gave them ample notice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Well, I thought it was ample notice, but apparently it wasn't enough for everybody. So that's okay. But everybody got paid today, I hope. At least I did.
Yeah, I did. So I'm waiting. I got to wait till Thursday.
Yeah. So, shout out to Zach. It's just probably, he might try to give us a call. I can get the Bluetooth rolling if we want to. But we're going to talk Cowboys saga, of course. We're going to talk Dak, Jason Garrett. There's been another meeting between Jason and Jerry, and also a little bit of head coaching carousel and our big game picks. Yep. We can say Super Bowl, right? Or no?
Big game, Super Bowl. Big game, Super Bowl.
Big game, Super Bowl, big game.
Yeah.
But once again, shout out to Kreitz Market, our sponsor. And if you don't know, by now, we're having a live show January 19th, starting about 12 p.m. Jesse Stratton Band's going to be there doing some live music. We're going to work on some guests. We're going to hope to get maybe the Lockhart head coach, talk a little bit maybe with Keith Schmidt.
Yep.
And maybe we get Kalunga on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Snoop Daniel's going to make a trip out there. Zach will be there. I'll be there. Paul will be there. A lot of family and friends. So January 19th, if you're in the Lockhart area or you want to go check out some great barbecue, be a part of the show. We're going to try to have some audience interaction. And, of course, there's going to be the live band out there, too. So it's going to be a fun time. Bring out the family. Come say what's up. And, we'll talk a little sports. And so it'll be like deep into the playoffs. So
surely,
we'll have plenty to talk about when it comes to football. Coming on January 19th at Kreitz Market. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, Paul. Dallas Cowboys, big win on Sunday, put up 46 points. They did what they needed to do. Well, kind of. What they needed to do was beat the Eagles in Week 16. They did not do that. They beat the Redskins, but the Eagles beat the Giants. So now the Eagles are NFC East champions. They're going to the playoffs. Cowboys go home. Jason Garrett's still the head coach as of 3:07 p.m. I think. I don't know. We're not on Twitter right now, so anything could have happened between now and a few minutes ago.
Well, I am on Twitter, and nothing's happened at this point right now. Of course, your NFL insiders, Ian Rappaport, is still reporting that today. Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones owner, and Jason Garrett, as well as Stephen Jones, vice president operations for the Cowboys, had a meeting, and nothing got resolved. So Jason Garrett is still on contract, I think, until the 14th, which is next Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe, and no outcome. There's not even speculation or word or any reporting going on that Dallas has hired a search committee to find the new head coach, and that leaves a lot of ambiguity for Dallas Cowboy Nation and the fans to think that possibly with a huge game that Dallas produced the last year of the season, beating down on Washington, a very handicapped team that week, he could possibly be coming back. We'll see what happens. And then Zach was the only one who that I've been listening to has said that on any kind of media program.
That Jason Garrett would come back?
That he would come back, yeah.
And
and you said something last show. What was it, Chris?
That I wouldn't be a Cowboys fan
and you
anymore.
Would join Zach in being a Packer fan.
So I'm going to look at the camera. Jerry, lifetime Cowboys fan here. If you want to lose me, bring back Jason. And, I'll go Green Bay way. I can go Texans. I like Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, I only have one Dallas Cowboys hat. I can get rid of that. I can go get me some Texans gear
for sure.
But if you bring back Jason Garrett, I will no longer be a Dallas Cowboys fan. Period.
It's so hard for Jerry to let go. One of his own adopted son, and Jerry likes to keep it Dallas. He likes to keep every position Dallas Cowboys. And I understand you want to promote the brand and you want to, promote from within and all that good stuff. But do you want to win a Super Bowl? Are you willing to set aside your ego to bring in the right hire? Because the last guy you brought in who was successful was Bill Parcells. And the only reason Bill Parcells left was because the man retired. And I think he did you a solid by coming out of retirement to get you a really solid draft class, find a diamond in the rough. And I don't know why Dallas continues to do this, but they always want to go find undrafted free agents or low draft picks and make them elite quarterbacks. Tony Romo and now Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Well, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's time to spend a little money. It's time to put a little bit of the ego aside. And Stephen Jones, I'm coming to you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You have been a voice of reason at times where you said, Jerry, don't pick Manziel, take Zach Martin. Don't take this guy, take Tyron Smith, offensive line at USC. You've made the right picks. You've recreated the formula for a GM for the 92, 93, and 95 Super Bowl champion teams. You've recreated it. The only thing you haven't recreated, Jerry, was the head coach. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want the Super Bowl, it's the last cog in the mechanical engine that you have built for this NFL franchise. You built the richest program and franchise in the world. Not in NFL, not in American sports, in the world. All you have to do to get back on the top of the mountain is hire the right coach. It's simple. Steven, talk some sense.
And get a different quarterback. Now, this is where we're going to get.
We talked a little bit about this.
Let's go ahead and make that transition. Now,
this.
we're all we're in agreement. Zach isn't, Zach's, the Packers fan.
Right.
He's and you're right. I mean, he's the only one that I know that said, hey, Jason Garrett's coming back. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
He's like, what if it happens? I'm like, I'm not going to be a Cowboys fan anymore. So Jason Garrett, pretty much out the door, I guess. I mean, I'm thinking Jerry just doesn't like to share the spotlight, so he didn't want to get rid of him on Black Monday with muddled with all the other ones.
Yeah, he wants to create his own storyline.
Yeah, with Kitchens out of Cleveland fired, Shermer and New York fired. He wanted to create his own, like you said, create his own storyline. So, maybe he's just letting Garrett do his own thing. But, going past the head coach, Dak Prescott, unrestricted free agent, possibly.
Yep.
Or he is at this point. There's basically two choices the Cowboys have: franchise tag or pay him.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to let him go. You're not going to just let him walk.
Right.
I
know some fans may want that.
I mean, I guess they could.
They could.
I mean,
not likely.
There's an option out there. There's an option out there.
What is that option, Chris?
Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers could be an option for the Dallas Cowboys. He is as well. He was on his last year of his contract.
Right.
He doesn't know if he's going to be back in San Diego. He is 38 years old. We'll give it. That's old, but in my opinion, there is an option to replace Dak Prescott for a year or two if you're able to draft a quarterback in the first round. You have I would much rather have a Phillip Rivers, help a young guy develop than Dak Prescott. Okay, I would rather have a 16-year veteran, possibly 17-year NFL veteran. I know he doesn't have any championships or anything under his belt, but he is a proven competitor.
Yes.
And Phillip Rivers is the type of player that you want on your Dallas Cowboys team to get everybody started, get everybody going. I'm just saying that is an option. Okay, I'm not saying that the Cowboys are just going to let Dak walk away. They're not. But nobody's going to say that. Okay, whatever. If you hear that somewhere else, I promise you they were listening to Recon Athlete, because you probably haven't heard that, right?
Christopher Sanchez. My friend, we must have been having some kind of telekinesis event going on. This was not in our show notes, everybody. But after the season was over and I saw the press conference that Phillip Rivers had, I'm like, what about Dallas? And I didn't share this because I was going to see if I could
Dallas?
make this hot take. And you beat me to the punch.
Oh, man, I did it, huh?
You beat me to the punch. Yes. But I don't let go of Dak.
Right.
I would bring in Phillip Rivers. I would restructure Dak's contract. Jerry Jones isn't going to do this. And the reason why Jerry Jones is going to do this is because Jerry pays loyalty.
Right.
And he's going to pay Dak Prescott market value, which unfortunately is going to be an astronomical amount. But if it was me and I was Jerry, I would franchise tag him for 2 years. Let the next 2 years come in, get your coaching selection established, bring in maybe the right quarterback coach to get Dak Prescott in the right frame, hone in his mechanics, sharpen him up, let Dak recover from his AC joint sprain that he has in his shoulder that is partially affecting his accuracy right now. But man, it would be great for a veteran like Phillip Rivers, an alpha, a dude, a baller, the dude who's going to talk to you while he throws down the field, while you help him up off the ground. Ask the Jacksonville Jaguars what happened to them, and he'll bark at you, and then he'll back it up. But good gosh almighty, if he could come in, that would be tremendous, because a guy like that will get everybody excited, and it will do two things. It's going to galvanize the team, and it's going to light a fire under that quarterback, whoever he's behind or in front of, because they know Phillip Rivers will come in. He'll put in the work in the film room. He'll put in the work in the field, and he's with his training to take care of his body, because that man doesn't miss a game.
Right.
So just saying, Dallas, how about it?
It's an option. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Not going to happen. Just saying. But I like to talk about stuff like that. It's not going to happen. So what's most likely going to happen is that Dak, I say most likely, is that Dak's going to get franchise tagged, or even more likely, knowing Jerry Jones, he's going to pay Dak and give him a long-term deal.
Yeah, and you kind of have to think about it, Chris. I mean, Dak has been in lockstep with Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys all the way until like 2 weeks ago, when Dallas didn't make that win over the Eagles to get into the playoffs. And Dak said, you know what? I've done what I've needed to do. Jerry, I've been there for you. I backed you up with whatever decision from 2-3 years ago when we had everybody kneeling for the national anthem. Dak stood by Jerry. He did what Jerry wanted to do. And Jerry has not given the man a contract. And Dak said, you know what? Ezekiel Elliott's out here acting all kind of wildness in 2016, 2017, with all kinds of allegations, immature behavior, lifting up girls' shirts at parades, having all kinds of incidents off the field. Zeke holds out and gets paid.
Yeah.
Nice guys finish last is what Dak said, and he said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to look out for my star player, my number one, which is myself. And if I want to get paid, it's time to go ahead and say, look, the season's over. Business is business. It's either time to pay and come to an agreement, have the negotiations, have the contract leveled out, or throw the franchise tag on him. We'll see what's going to happen, but I really do believe it's going to be possibly a long-term deal, and that's probably going to be in the neighborhood 35 to 40 million per year.
Yeah, because if you franchise tag, I think it's maybe 37, something around there.
It's an average of the top three quarterbacks. Yeah,
so like 30. I think I've heard a number between 34 and 37.
Right,
and then if you franchise tag them again for the second year, it's like 46. You know, because it has to go up. But yeah, I mean,
and you only get two.
Well, yeah, that's it. And then after that, it's he's unrestricted. He can do whatever he wants. But I mean, I really think that Jerry. I mean, I would put a franchise tag on him. I think you would put a franchise tag on him. I think Jerry, like you said, he's going to reward the loyalty, and he's going to give Dak a long term deal. Does Dak Prescott deserve that? If you just look at the stats, yeah. You look at his QBR, you look at his passer ratings, you look at his yards and his touchdowns and all this other stuff. Yeah, if you're just looking at that, yeah, he deserves it. But when I look at that 8-8 record, what?
He's got 39. He's got 39 wins in his first 4 years in the NFL. He's 8th overall in QB rating. People want to say, "Oh, well, that's a top 10 quarterback." No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. He's in the top 25%. There's 32 teams. He's in the top 8. That's a quarter.
Right.
He's in the top 25. He's not a top 10% quarterback.
Right.
That's a very skewed number because everybody wants to talk about digits instead of percentages.
Right.
Let's talk about the percentages. Are you going to pay the top 25% quarterback $40 million a year? Yeah. I wouldn't.
Right. I would pay the top,
I'll take the top 10%. Yeah.
Top 10% quarterback.
But I'm not paying top 25%.
No. Jerry will though.
He's gonna reward loyalty.
Yeah. And I guess I don't know. I was about to say I understand that, but I don't. I mean, in the NFL, in the way this game is played now, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Loyalty doesn't mean anything. You need to win. You need to win now. Take the New York Giants, for example. Pat Shurmur, there 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. That's all he got.
Freddie Kitchen, 1 year.
1 year. Later.
Bye.
Get out. You didn't do your job. Go. Sorry. This is the NFL. We want to win now.
Not for long, league.
Jerry Jones, he wants to win in the next. Yeah, he's just used to losing.
Yeah.
Is he used to losing?
Yes.
Jerry used to losing now? It's like, Jerry, are you used to being a loser?
He's used to losing on the football field because he don't lose at the bank.
Right.
He don't lose at the bank. And that's one thing we've talked about on this program.
Fine. That's fine. Make all your money, Jerry, but
no titles.
There's no title. I mean, what else?
When you go to that owners meeting,
yeah,
you see that hardware on consistently the Patriots' hands, on consistently teams who are successful, who have solid GMs, who bring in solid coaches. And that's what it has to do with. The ownership allowing the right hires to come in at the general manager level and at the head coaching level so that you can bring in a staff that's going to make your quarterback and your other players successful on a consistent basis.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll still see what happens with Jason Garrett. We'll see what happens with Dak Prescott. Shout out to everybody that's hitting us up on the Facebook live feed. Zach gets on there, says, what's up, Zach? How's work, bro? You shouldn't be on Facebook when you're at work. He says, nice hair, Chris. I just got a haircut, bro. Sorry I don't have the long locks like you. I can't put it in a man bun. Paul Bazan, how was the golf swing? It was pretty good, Paul. I went to play golf yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I showed up late.
Oh, yeah?
To the tee time. My buddy went to the wrong course.
Oh.
It was hilarious.
Really?
It was funny.
Was it really far away?
He was on the other side of town, dude. So I had an 8:40 tee time. I've been off of work, for like the past 10 days. I'm not used to like working.
Yeah.
I'm not used to getting up early.
Yeah.
So my alarm went off at 7:30, and I roll over and I just turn it off, and then I roll back. I don't even think about it. My phone goes off like at 8:20. It's like, it's my homeboy, and he's like, hey, it's my buddy Elliot. He's like, hey man, where you at? And I was like, oh, our tee time's 8:40. It was 8:23. Now we were playing over at Morris Williams, which is right there off of Airport, which isn't very far from the Paddock Studios here.
Right.
So like, I got up, I got dressed, and I was like, okay, all my golf stuff's in my car, so it's cool. I run downstairs, I cruise over to Morris Williams, run up to the clubhouse. I'm like, hey guys, sorry, I'm Chris Sanchez. I had an 8:40 tee time. It's like 8:45, and the guy was like, oh, he's like, no worries, man. It's kind of slow this morning. We'll get you in. Cool. I was like, all right, well, let me pay. I was like, my buddy paid yet? And he's like, no, nobody's paid. I pay for both of us. Yeah. Get on the phone. Hey, Elliot, where you at? Oh, I'm waiting in line to pay. Hurry up. I was like, dude, I just paid. I look back. I was like, dude, I just paid.
Yeah.
I was like, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm at Kaiser and Clay. I was like, dude, that's a whole different municipal course, like way down off Stastny. Dang. And I'm off Airport. So I have to like walk back into the clubhouse, and I'm like, hey, me again, the guy that was late. Yeah. So my buddy, he's at the wrong course. And they were like, oh, and I was like, all right. I was like, well, they were like, do you want a refund? And I was like, you know what? He's going to come up here.
Yeah.
We'll just wait around. If you can fit us in, you can fit us in, whatever.
Right.
So my buddy gets there, I'm waiting out in the parking lot for him. We throw his golf stuff on the cart. We go up to the thing. We got there just in time, and we were like, hey, I was like, it's the late guy, and the guy was at the wrong course. And they were like, oh, you guys can go ahead right now. You're just in time.
Sweet.
We went out there. There was like one little spot that it was like 9:16, 9:17. Golf. Tee times are always weird.
Yeah.
And they got us out there, man. And we had a great time, man. So shout out to the staff of Morris Williams.
Shout out to them.
You know, they hooked us up. I went back after the round. I went back up there and, like, you know, thanked them again. They were, like, real appreciative. And they were like, oh, glad you had time. But, yeah, dude, I was like, yesterday morning wasn't. So, needless to say, the first 3 or 4 holes were not very good. I was off, dude. I wasn't.
You lost
Plus, it was
holes.
Plus, it was like 45 or 40 degrees when we teed off, like at 9:15.
I'm sure all the people in North Texas right now saying,
yeah. So, but I ended up shooting pretty well. So. And then shout out to my cousin Shirley Sanchez. She says hello. So, my little story about my golf thing there. So
super accommodating for them.
Yeah,
to do that for you.
I know it helped me out a lot. So Dallas. Let's say Jason Garrett does leave, Paul. They could reach out reportedly to Lincoln Riley, Urban Meyer, Matt Rule.
A new name in the mix.
Matt Rule?
No.
Let me guess.
Go ahead. They just played last night.
I didn't see.
Dan Mullen of the Florida Gators, head coach.
I have not seen that. Is that new? Is that today?
That's today.
I was about to say that's got to be today.
Yeah, that's new, reported by Ian Rappaport, saying that Dan Mullen's hat is in that, you know, that mix. Matt Rule has also kind of been ruled out, pun intended. Mm-hmm. So Baylor staff have kind of communicated that out on Twitter, saying that he's probably most likely going to stay. He did interview for the Giants head coaching job. I didn't know this, but he is a Tom Coughlin disciple off of that coaching tree. So we know the Giants have that relationship with Tom. If it was me, I still like Urban Meyer. I like his body of work. I like what he's done. I don't know if he wants to get back into that kind of mix. He's another guy who likes to control the narrative with his team. Mm-hmm. So most likely what people are probably going to do once those calls are being made, that organization, probably Dallas, is going to call the Ohio State organization to kind of get all the department heads. Mm-hmm. So basically, if you're in recruiting, if you're in scouting, you're going to call each other. Film guys, media guys, they're going to call each other. Training area, they're going to call each other and basically kind of get a feel of the guy. Would he be a fit? And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen with all those candidates. But I like Urban Meyer. I like what he did with Alex Smith at Utah. I like what he did with Tim Tebow at Florida. Of course, what he did with all the quarterbacks that he didn't even know he had with Joe Burrow, a Heisman quarterback. So shout out to him for doing all that recruiting. I think he could easily motivate these guys. It would be a perfect fit for Ezekiel Elliott, getting his head coach back from Ohio State. Gallup was a guy at Ohio State, I believe. Mm-hmm. So lots of pieces in place for an Ohio State coach, formerly Urban Meyer, to be a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean,
but would he be able to be Jerry's guy? I mean, that's the number.
Jerry has to let go of his ego.
Well, he's not going to do that.
Jerry did it for Jimmy. Jerry did it for Bill. Does Jerry want to do it for Urban? That's the question.
I don't know. Jerry's 165 years old, dude. He can't learn anything new. I guess. he could, but I do think. Urban Meyer, he is a good fit. Like you said, he coached Zeke, Gallup. He's got the temperament and he's got the, I think, leadership skills to make that transition. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that would be I don't know. I was against the whole college to the NFL thing, but if there's anybody that could probably do it, I think I would pick Urban Meyer over Lincoln Riley, at least, just at this point in Lincoln Riley's career. So if Jason Garrett goes, our pick probably be for the next Dallas Cowboys head coach would probably be Urban Meyer. So we'll see. Jerry, just don't keep Jason or you're going to lose me, bro. I'm going to have to get rid of my Cowboys hat and all my Cowboys, just, I don't know, like all my love.
All the merch, all the years.
All the frustration and all the investment that I put into the Dallas Cowboys.
Are you going to throw that merch in the trash can?
No, I'm not Skip Bayless, bro. I ain't, I'll probably still wear Cowboys stuff, I'll still pull for them, but I might have to make another team like my team, like the Texans or I don't know.
Just a quick side note. You never got out of that, like once you got into fantasy football? Like
what?
Once I got into fantasy football, all of my like hardcore allegiance like just went out the window for teams.
When it comes to fantasy, you have to compartmentalize when it comes to fantasy football. I can't just I want Dallas Cowboys on my team. No. That's not how it works. That's not how you win in fantasy football. You know that.
Well, that's what kind of why I think I've lost all of my like hardcore, like blind loyalty to Jerry and the Cowboys brand. Because once I got into fantasy football, I'm like, I don't really care who is what team. I just care about the players and, who's going to be making me the most, points after a matchup. So
yeah.
I kind of lost all of that. I kind of give, of course I give, Francesca, shout out Francesca, a hard time about her blind loyalty to the Cowboys, but what's right is right. And I think me being more objective has allowed me to, to be a little bit more successful doing a little prognostication going on. But I don't know, man. I lost that when I got into fantasy football really big time with my loyalty with the Cowboys.
The football allegiance. Yeah. I mean, I've always had it, I mean, I grew up with the Dallas Cowboys, man. They won 3 Super Bowls when we were, 10 to 14, like around that age. That's really when you're getting into sports.
Yeah.
Those preteen, years. That's when you're like really like totally into football, baseball, basketball. It was a great time for Dallas Cowboys fans. It hasn't been a great time for Dallas Cowboys fans for the past 25 years.
Right.
It's been just sluggish. There's been hope. There's been desperation. There's been more frustration than anything. And I'm about to be 40. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I don't know. I can change teams. I mean, nobody, it's not like I'm not loyal. It's like, who's not loyal is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones ain't loyal to his fans.
Yeah,
that's who's not loyal. Jerry might be loyal to Jason Garrett, but he's not loyal to all the people that are making him money.
Preach.
That are all the fans out there. I mean, I'm the one that's buying the Dallas Cowboys gear.
Talk about it.
I mean, come on. Like, be loyal to me, Jerry. Show me some love.
That's right.
Golly.
It's still there, folks.
I'm about to start crying.
It's still there.
I'm gonna lose Dallas Cowboys. Nah, Jason Garrett's out, man. Nah, I don't think. There's no way he comes back. There's no way he comes back.
Man, never say never. I had to learn.
Man,
I had to learn that the hard way.
Come on, man.
Learn never say never.
Oh man. So, anyways, let's go back. Let's go. Move on to some other head coaching news. Washington Redskins reportedly have hired Ron Rivera, right?
And in conjunction with DC Jack Del Rio.
Wow.
Man. Redskins got formidable fast.
So, okay. Remember when Carolina got rid of him and I was like, hey, Dallas Cowboys need Ron Rivera. And you said I was crazy. And the Washington Redskins didn't think I was crazy. They went and hired Ron Rivera.
That's right, because Dan Snyder is Jerry Jones III. Yeah. That's why he runs an inept organization just like Jerry Jones.
Why?
Because Dan Snyder has made poor choice after poor. How many head coaches have they had in the past 7 years?
I have no idea.
Like 4 or 5.
I was gonna say 9.
4. And Ron Rivera is the next thing coming, and he is what? He is a yes man. He's his own man, but he's a yes man. He doesn't like to cause waves. And Jack Del Rio, former Cowboy, former head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is going to come in, and they're both what? Defensive-minded coaches.
Yeah.
And these guys, they're saying, well, we got Dwayne Haskins. We'll let him bring in an OC and let him do what he needs to do. Mm. And I'm like, guys, what are you going to do when Dan Snyder wants to draft a running back in the 8th round and wants to draft a safety in the 2nd round? And your picks are all not in conjunction with your defensive ideology.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest concern. They're going to do great, but they're not going to be elite. And when we talk about winning, right? We want to win championships. Redskins haven't had a Super Bowl since the 80s, since like when I was born.
Yeah, that was back in the
35 years ago.
Doug Williams?
Doug Williams.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I'm a Ron Rivera fan. I don't know. Is it just because, he's Rasa? I don't know. Maybe it is, but
he's Puerto Rican, man.
it's still, you know what I mean? He's Boricua. I mean, what's up? Shout out Bad Bunny, I'm just saying, like, I like the cat, man. I thought he was a good coach, man. I mean, he took Carolina to the Super Bowl. I mean, did Jason Garrett take the Cowboys to the Super Bowl?
No.
Did not. Okay.
No.
So I think Ron Rivera is a pretty dang good coach. I mean, I really do.
He's going to be a great motivator. He's going to get the most out of his players. I just don't think they could win NFC East titles. They're just not going to win Super Bowls.
I mean, anybody in the NFC East can win NFC East titles.
Any year.
As bad as these teams are right now.
Yes, in any year.
So, so the Giants got rid of Pat Shurmur after 2 years because the Giants know what they're doing. They're like, oh, we don't want mediocrity for years and years. We don't want to be anything like Jerry Jones's teams. So we're gonna get rid of Pat Shurmur. And I think you said, yeah. So Matt Rule did interview. I think they interviewed Mike McCarthy too.
Yep.
They're requested to interview Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. So they're doing their due diligence right now, and they're doing it fast.
Right.
You know, they're doing it quickly. I mean, I think they interviewed. You know, they've already interviewed 2 coaches. I mean, they just got rid of, this guy. So it's like,
sure.
I mean, they know what they're doing, and they want to get there quickly because they do still have a pretty good team. You know, I mean, they've got Daniel Jones, good quarterback.
Yes,
he's going to be a good quarterback.
He will be a very good quarterback.
They've got Saquon Barkley.
They're rebuilding their offensive line.
Yep. They got an up and coming receiver in Darius Slayton.
Yep.
I mean, he's a star in the making. I mean, he really is. If you don't know Darius Slayton,
fantasy,
go look him up. I mean, he's going to be a guy that the Giants are going to go to.
Solid tight end in Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the pieces in there. You know, all they need is a few more wins. You know, and they're going to be in the playoffs. And then Eli is going to ride off in the sunset. I mean, he's got his 2 Super Bowls, right? I mean,
he'll probably make a run at a team or 2 if there's a good fit. But I think he's verbally expressed he doesn't want to be second fiddle to anybody.
Right.
And I think he's earned that, and that's fine. But I think he's also self-aware to know that if there's not a fit, he'll go ahead and move on to greener pastures.
Yeah. And as far as the Cleveland Browns go, they got rid of Kitchens. This is only 1 year.
Yeah, 6-10 deuces.
Wow.
Lots of talent on that team.
That's true.
No production.
And I talked about it at the beginning of the season. I don't know if you remember. I mean, it might not have been on any of our podcasts, but we had talked about it between us because we're just like regular fans like everybody else.
Right.
I mean, I was like, man, I really think Baker's going to have a sophomore slump. I was like, it just kind of seemed that way, and I was like, man, I don't see him having the success. And I do see him having a good offseason, getting focused, getting back into what he's doing. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder again, and I think next year, depending on who their head coach is,
right,
I do foresee Baker Mayfield having a comeback season. Having a decent season. You got too many weapons to not have a decent season.
Well, unfortunately, more bad news for Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, has also parted ways with John Dorsey, the GM. So that was another guy that drafted Baker. Baker kind of went to him and said, hey, let's name Kitchens. So Baker's lost not only the coach he picked, but also the general manager who selected him number 1 overall in the NFL draft. Ian Rappaport is saying right now that a name to watch that Jimmy Haslam is kind of leaning towards is Paul Podesta. And it was an amicable split between, John Dorsey and the Cleveland Browns. So Paul Podesta's, structure comes in. Hopefully he can get Baker Mayfield a really solid head coach. And that head coach can bring in somebody who can work on Baker's mechanics because they have sharply decreased over this season in this sophomore slump. Maybe a little bit less commercials and a little bit more training, Baker. Just as a heads up, bro. You're a baller. We know you're a killer. We know you can do it. It's just time to get back to work.
Yeah, and I think that was my point. That they thought during the offseason he was real distracted. He was doing a lot of commercials, doing a lot of stuff to develop his brand. Got married, doing, and that's just kind of what happens. If your focus is somewhere else, you're not gonna be able to focus on what the job at hand is. So I think he's gonna have. He's going to come into the offseason in a much different way than he did last season.
Yeah, and again...
And I think it's going to be more focused.
Yeah, congratulations on getting married and everything and securing the bag, props.
Right.
It's just time to go back to work.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, absolutely. I'm not saying it wasn't him getting married. It wasn't, him trying to do all this stuff.
It's life.
It's life. Yeah, congrats, Baker. I mean, awesome, but I think all of that was a distraction in his preparation for year 2. And now I think year 3, I really think that he's going to he's going to come back. And so, if you're thinking about your fantasy season next year, quarterback that could be like way down,
dark horse,
way down the line. I mean, you could probably get that kid from,
12,
that's what I was saying. I was going to say 12 to 15.
13, yeah.
I mean, you can wait that long to get a quarterback.
Just like Lamar Jackson this year.
Yep.
Out of nowhere, blows up.
Yep.
If you had Lamar Jackson, shout out Steven Olivares, dude got Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram on his fantasy team. Super Bowl champ.
All right, so Recon Athlete podcast episode number 39. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto is at work. Want to shout out to Snoop Daniel. He's on our watch party. He says, Happy New Year. Yeah, so Happy New Year, everybody. Make your plans tonight. Make sure that, you got stuff all planned out. Make sure you're not driving.
Ride sharing.
Lyft, Uber, do all that stuff. Call your homie that doesn't drink. I don't really have any of those, but,
ride share.
Call a cab. Like, just don't drive, man. Just be smart about it, y'all. Have a great time though.
For sure.
I'm gonna be at a house party later. Shout out to Michelle and Jessica. It's gonna be a good time. All right, big game. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Big game, Super Bowl, big game.
Super Bowl big odds via Caesar's Palace.
Ooh.
All right. So I'm gonna go from I guess the favorite to the least favorite.
Okay.
Ravens plus 200.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs plus 300. That's 3-1.
Yeah.
49ers 350 plus 350. 3.5 to 1. Saints 5-1. 5 plus 500. Packers 7-1. Seahawks 9-1. Patriots.
Wow, that's what I was waiting for. That name.
1,800 to 1.
What?
Yeah.
1,800, 180
plus,
to 1.
Plus 1,800. 180 to 1. Yeah, sorry. 180 to 1.
That's worth.
No, 18 to 1. 18 to 1.
It's 18 to 1. Okay, it's 18 to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 18 to 1.
18 to 1.
I mean,
18 to 1. Sorry.
If you got $100, throw it at that.
Yeah.
If you got $100, if you're gonna go blow $100 at the bar.
Yeah. 18 to 1.
Yeah.
Throw $100 in, you'll get 1,800. Bills plus 3,500. Texans Vikings plus 4,000. Eagles plus 4,500. And Titans plus 7,500. So 75 to 1. If you're a Titans fan, Eagles 45 to 1. I mean, Patriots. I mean, that's some money right there.
That's a big
18 to 1.
Those boys in the desert are really buying into these losses. That in the last 4 weeks they've had 3 losses.
I can foresee a lot of money going onto this, these Patriots.
And they got to play next week or this coming week. They have to play.
Yeah,
the wild card.
Yes. So I don't know, man. If I was a gambling man, I'll put some money out there on New England. I ain't trying to bet against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, especially in the playoffs when everybody's 0-0. I mean, it don't really matter what you did in the regular season now.
No, it doesn't.
So, do you like so Ravens, Chiefs, 49ers, they're the top 3 favorites. What do you think about that?
If I'm going to have to pick 2 Super Bowl teams, I'm picking Green Bay.
Green Bay, okay, they're plus 700. They're 7 to 1.
Green Bay and Baltimore. Baltimore's going to win all.
Green Bay and Baltimore. Yeah. Okay. So you got you're going with the favorite. You're going with the Super Bowl favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, Super Bowl favorite to win it.
Yeah. So these once again these odds are via Caesar's Palace. Ravens are the favorite, 2 to 1 odds. Ravens, Chiefs, 49ers, Saints, Packers, Seahawks, Patriots, Bills. Texans and Vikings are both plus 4,000 or 40 to 1. Eagles 4,500 and Titans plus 7,500. 49ers, like just watching them play. I mean, I'd have to go with, but it's hard to go with Jimmy G right now. Jimmy Grapes. It's hard to go, but their defense is so good.
Jimmy G beat Drew Brees at home and beat Russell Wilson at home.
That's true, but he also got beat by Russell Wilson at his home. So,
but that last game was for the number 1 seed in the NFC.
That's true.
There's a lot of weight
but
on that.
I mean, his defense had a lot to do with it.
True, no doubt.
I mean, that defense is legit. I mean, there's some monsters on that defense.
I want to see them play in cold weather, not Pacific Northwest. I'm talking about some cold weather. I
mean, and I can't, you just can't bet against. It's hard. I mean, I like these the NFC side because you got 49ers, Saints, Packers, Seahawks, Vikings, Eagles. I mean, really, the Vikings and the Eagles are the only teams in there that don't have like an elite quarterback. Everybody else in the 49ers too. But I mean, Drew Brees, right now in the playoffs, you got Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
That's just NFC.
That's just the NFC. And then on the other side, on the AFC, you got Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and that's it. So you got 3 elite quarterbacks on each side. I mean, I can't really say Josh Allen. Deshaun Watson's not there yet. Carson Wentz definitely not there. You know, Tannehill, I mean, he could eventually be a pretty good quarterback. I don't see him being an elite quarterback. So I'm going to go 49ers and Ravens with the 49ers winning the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So you're thinking that defense is going to be able to stop Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have went 49ers Patriots. I should just go Patriots just to like put some money on it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like to make Super Bowl picks, man. It's just you never know,
it's
man.
It's early. It's really early.
You never know. It's super early. So, but I think the Ravens are definitely. I mean, they're the favorite for a reason. I mean, they've been doing it all season. So, but they're gonna have to keep playing the way they're playing, and play defense too. I mean, defense wins championships.
They're a solid defense. They play in very harsh conditions in the Northeast. Maryland area is going to be really hard to play with cold weather, with possibly snow. I don't see teams going in there and beating them. I just don't see it. Not even the Patriots. Not after the way they got after Tom Brady and shut him down earlier in the year.
Okay. Yeah.
They already beat the Patriots.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's go over the wild card games real quick. We'll go over it more coming this weekend. I think we're going to do Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, we'll do Saturday morning.
So let's
for
go.
Our next broadcast.
We'll start with the Saturday games. Titans at Patriots. That's going to be 7:15 on CBS. Patriots 5.5 point favorite.
I mean, that's about right.
And then the Bills at Texans on ESPN 3:35. Houston 2.5 point favorite at the house.
I don't know, man. Texans they're kind of limping into the playoffs. Huh?
Yeah, I like the Bills in this matchup.
Yeah, I do too.
So all right, Sunday Vikings at Saints. New Orleans 7.5 point favorite at home.
I'll take that.
And then Seahawks at Eagles. Seattle 1.5 point favorite.
I'll take that too.
Yeah, me too.
I'll take that too.
I'll take plus 1.5. I'm sorry, plus minus 1.5 with that offense.
Yeah, I just think the Eagles are just. I mean, they're playing with house money. I mean, they were in a terrible division in the NFC East. They lucked out. Didn't really luck out, but they earned it.
They had to win their last 4 games in a row,
and they did it. They beat the Cowboys at home. So I don't want to say they lucked out. I'm saying that they took advantage of fortunate situations that they put themselves into a good position, and they did what they had to do. So got to give it up to the Eagles. But now you got the Seahawks team who just lost the NFC West at home against the 49ers. They might be busted up a little bit. You never know. They might be a little bit hurt, a little bit bruised up because that was a very, very physical game that they played.
Yeah.
But they're going to be hungry, and they're going to want to win this football game very badly. So this thing has the potential to get out of hand. It really does. So Carson Wentz going to have to come out there and prove that he is the quarterback that everybody thinks he is in Philadelphia.
A lot of people think that all over the place, and I just don't see it.
So, all right. Well, we'll see what happens this weekend. All right. So once again, we'll be recording Saturday morning, hopefully 10:30 a.m. Saturday morning, Facebook Live. I'll be doing my watch parties from my friends out there. Recon Athlete on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Paul. Recon Athlete.
On all platforms.
All platforms. Get us on YouTube, too. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, you go to YouTube now. Just search Recon Athlete. It's going to come up right away. It's going to be the first one that comes up, and then you can hit subscribe. So if you miss our Facebook Live post, you can always go back to the Facebook page and watch there, or you can get on YouTube and just check it out whenever you can. Once again, we're having our live broadcast show January 19th, starting about noon, and Jesse Stratton Band's going to be playing. I'm going to be there. Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucero, Snoop Daniel. We're going to try to get some other special guests, maybe get some trivia going.
Yeah.
We're going to make a whole event out of this. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I know, Paul, you're excited. I mean, I know you're kind of, you seemed we were talking about it earlier. You seemed a little nervous about it, but we talked and you kind of seemed to settle down.
I mean, I have a really good time. Like, we're out here talking about ball and everything. All the other stuff that we do outside of that y'all really see on camera is kind of like, well, we got to make this decision and this choice. And it's all fun and it's great and I really enjoy it. But it's like, as soon as Chris gives me a little guidance, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I just got everything and that Chris just kind of puts it in an organized box.
Hey, there was, I spent 12 years in radio for a reason. So, I know what I'm doing here. All right, Paul. So on the way out, we're going to play a little Jesse Stratton Band.
Yeah.
And so we can have the listeners take a look. I think this one's called December Moon. We'll check this one out on the way out. So thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. Make sure you hit us up Saturday morning at 10:30. Paul, do your thing.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, do this. Tell your friends, tell your family all about Recon Athlete. Share this. We'll go ahead and see y'all soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, comment down below on YouTube. Hit the bell. We'll let you know when we upload. We gone.
You give me something else to think about. We could